When you align with the pure positive energy that is the basis of all that is the basis of the spiritual principles underlying how physical reality works, your physical reality, your life experience has to reflect that alignment, that pure positive alignment. And when you do that, you are inspired from that pure positivity. You are able to soothe chronic negative emotion, chronic negative beliefs and thoughts. And as you do that, as you tune up your life, your inner life, your exterior world, your outer life has to reflect that, because your outer life is a reflector. Welcome to Worthiness Wednesday. I'm Perry Gruber, the Enlightenment Guy. For over a decade, I've helped people master their mindsets so they can live lives they love and get results without the burnout or the hustle. And today I want to talk with you, as I usually do on Worthiness Wednesdays, about a client experience he had last week. It was so good. He is so powerful. And what he experienced is a perfect demonstration of his power. So this client I'm going to call Jeremy. Jeremy is a groundskeeper at a university campus. He's also a locksmith. He works on the weekends, and on one weekend, he was planning, along with his crew that he supervises, to clean up the campus. It's fall here in the Northwest, and beautiful golden leaves are falling to the ground and covering the ground with their majesty. But if you live in a place where leaves fall in the fall, you know that can present trip hazards and slip hazards. And so Jeremy is responsible for ensuring that the sidewalks are clear of fallen leaves. So he goes to the campus on a weekend with the expectation that his crew is going to show up, and together they're going to clean up these leaves. But when he gets there, the crew's not there. They end up not showing up that day. And so Jeremy has to do this work on his own. As he relates the story, now Jeremy is a very high-flying individual. He is an exemplary client with regard to using the practice, the positively focused practice, and has been able to develop within himself a very high, very strong positive vibration, which translates into very powerful momentum in his life experience, meaning his life experience profoundly reflects back to him what's going on inside of him. It also offers, because it's a reflector, it offers opportunities for him to clean up his vibration, which is what happened this weekend. So he goes to the campus, the crew doesn't show up, and he's okay at first. He has a little dip in his vibration because, as the supervisor, you would expect your team to show up. They don't show up, of course, and so he decides he's going to clean up the campus on his own. So he gets in his little golf cart with his cleanup tools, leaf blower and garbage cans and garbage bags and whatnot, and he spends an hour cleaning up this one portion of the campus, gets all the leaves up into their bags. The space looks pristine. And then he says, a great big wind blows, and all the work he had done in the last hour is wiped out with a whole new carpet of leaves that have fallen to the floor. At first, Jeremy is upset. I guess upset's too strong a word. He was more irritated, he said. But he recognized that he was irritated, and also recognized that, and this is so good, this was an opportunity being delivered to him by the universe. He didn't get it at first when his crew didn't show up, but he got it when the wind blew and knocked leaves back onto the ground, the grounds that he had perfectly cleaned up. At that moment, he realized that something was in the works. And what was in the works? This wasn't just about removing slip hazards. This wasn't just about beautifying the campus. This was a golden opportunity, like the golden leaves falling onto the ground, for Jeremy to address, to improve, to fortify his chronic positive momentum. And so he decided he was going to interpret what was happening that way. He saw the opportunity to clean up the leaves again, and that's what he did. He said he spent the next 2 hours cleaning up the leaves. And when he was done, he said, another gust of wind blew and totally erased everything he had done for those 2 hours. By that time, he said his back was hurting, his arms were hurting, cramped from holding the rake in the snow or the leaf blower or whatever he was using. But he still recognized that this was even a greater opportunity to practice what he had learned in the positively focused practice. And at that moment, when he realized this was another opportunity to fortify, to amplify his positive momentum, he got an inspiration from his broader perspective. And what the inspiration was, he said, was a memory he had of a segment of the movie The Secret, where I don't remember exactly what the segment is, but as he recounts it in the movie, there are these leaves falling in the fall, and he says that the narrator says something like, imagine every one of those leaves as $100 bill falling to the ground, and you're wanting to collect as many of those $100 bills as you can. That was the interpretation he had of the movie in this flash of inspiration. And so what originally occurred to him as an irritating experience twice over of nature erasing his work, he reimagined it as $100 bills falling to the ground. And as a result of that, he had a burst of energy and he started to clean up these leaves. Now, just before he had that burst of inspiration, a whole new level of realization occurred to Jeremy. When the leaves had fallen to the ground the second time after 2 hours of back-breaking effort, he went into a doom spiral of thought. He said he couldn't, when he was telling me about what I'm about to tell you, Jeremy said, I couldn't understand where these thoughts were coming from because they were so ridiculous, they were so irrational, he said. The thought was, my boss is going to berate me for having not done anything over the weekend if he comes and sees all these leaves on the ground. My boss is going to say to me, what did you do over the weekend? You didn't do anything. Those were the thoughts he was having in the moment the leaves had fallen to the ground. And he caught himself when those thoughts started to occur, because he realized that his supervisor, I think his name is Richard, would never say something like that. And so he in our session last week, he was questioning, why was I making up thoughts that Richard would say that wouldn't be thoughts Richard would say? This is really critical, you guys. Jeremy had put his finger on an important realization, and that is, when you have, I'm not going to say dominant, let's say strong. When you have strong negative momentum, and many people do on the subject of work and bosses, then you attract to yourself in your thinking process, you attract to yourself thoughts that are aligned with that negative momentum. And they often are irrational. They often, if you can step back and look at them, they're ridiculous. Richard would never say something like what Jeremy was thinking Richard would say if Richard showed up on Monday and there were leaves on the ground. Now, if you just think about Mother Nature, Jeremy cleaning up leaves on a Saturday is not going to produce a leaf-free surface on Monday. There's a whole nother day that nature has to wipe out all the effort that Jeremy put into cleaning up the leaves. It's a constant process. So of course Richard is not going to come in on Monday and berate Jeremy for what he didn't do on Saturday. He's going to realize that Sunday the leaves probably fell. But here was Jeremy on Saturday worried about what his boss was going to say. It wasn't because his boss was going to say something. It's because Jeremy has insecure-based beliefs about his relationship, not between him and Richard, but between him and what he interprets as authority over him. This was a fantastic realization on Jeremy's part. Fantastic. And he knew it, which is why when he realized that he was thinking in this way about his supervisor, he stopped himself and laughed because the thoughts were so ridiculous. And then he went about and cleaned up the leaves again. And at the end of his shift on that Saturday, he walked away from his job feeling on cloud 9. It's so good. This is the power of being positively focused. When you align with the pure positive energy that is the basis of all that is the basis of the spiritual principles underlying how physical reality works, your physical reality, your life experience has to reflect that alignment, that pure positive alignment. And when you do that, you are inspired from that pure positivity. You're able to soothe chronic negative emotion, chronic negative beliefs and thoughts. And as you do that, as you tune up your life, your inner life, your exterior world, your outer life has to reflect that, because your outer life is a reflector. It's reflecting what's going on inside of you. And when you do that, when your life experience begins to reflect back to you the improved state of being that is your inner state, then you begin to experience what I call the charmed life, where every experience, even ones you may have once considered negative, are serving you and are therefore positive and good. And before long, those negative experiences, things that people would ordinarily call negative, don't show up in your life experience. So many of my clients are having this as their reality. Their external life experience is improving so significantly that the negative experiences they once experienced no longer exist in their life experience. That's the charmed life. It's the perfect life. It's the life you came here to experience. It's the life we all came here to experience. It's not a worry-free life. It's not a problem-free life. It's a life in which you see everything serving you. And as a result of that, you don't experience what you would ordinarily call problems as problems. Like nature erasing the 2 hours of work you put in to clean up leaves off of a surface. You don't experience that as a problem. You experience it as an open door, an invitation to greater heights of expansion, of clarity, of empowerment, of joy, which is exactly what Jeremy experienced. I love it when clients come to sessions and share stories like what Jeremy shared. It is such a powerful example of how powerful we each are as pure positive energy, temporarily residing in physical form. I wish you the best life you can possibly imagine. Whatever you can imagine is available for you. All you have to do is line up with it. My clients are discovering this. And you don't have to become a client to discover it for yourself. You just have to learn how to tune in to your broader perspective and then follow the guidance your broader perspective is continuously giving you. See you in the comments, and see you in the next video.